Beyond labels, understanding the new science of movement, focus, and attention. Jiddu Krishnamurti has a beautiful quote, and the quote is this: "When you teach a child the name of a bird, they never see that bird again." And what he was talking about is our capacity to label something, categorize something, and then stop observing it in its true nature. We've done that right now with millions of kids through a broad set of labels. If you followed our organization for any length of time, you've seen me write about this for almost 10 years. When we remove the complexity of individuality and we make 6.5 million kids an acronym, we stop seeing what makes them powerful and unique. And I think that Jiddu Krishnamurti really hit the nail on the head. That once we categorize something, once we label it, we stop really seeing it. I'm in New York City right now, and there are no shortage of pigeons running around the streets. We've created the term pigeon to describe a category of bird that is part of a species. And if we look at every pigeon as exactly the same, we stop seeing what makes them different. Pigeons are super unique. They have completely integrated social hierarchies. Some are more ambitious, some are less ambitious, some move more, some move less. But we don't label this bird is broken and this one is normal, or this one is disordered and this one is normal. The only species that labels individual differences as disorders is ours. Humans do that. We essentially say, if you're not like me, something's wrong with you. And the latest science of genetics shows us that that's not the case. It shows us that each one of us is separated from every other human to ever live by over 3 million genetic differences. And these differences determine everything from our level of focus, to attention, to motivation, to physical activity needs, to optimal sleep timing, to nutrition. We are actually individuals. And it is such an exciting time, I think, to appreciate the individuality within us, within our kids, especially in the age of AI, when being a robot or being ChatGPT is not, it's not a value proposition. The value proposition is human individuality. I've talked a lot about genetics in my writing, in these podcasts, but I want to share maybe 2 of the biggest insights when we think about attention, focus, and movement that we've learned from the scientific revolution and from behavioral genetics. One is that we all have different variations of the COMT gene. This is the gene that has to do with dopamine. Dopamine is the brain chemical responsible for motivation, for forward movement, and it plays a massive role in learning. And all of us metabolize dopamine at one of 3 speeds: really, really fast, moderately, or really, really slow. And that's going to determine whether we need to move a lot to stimulate more dopamine in the prefrontal cortex, or whether we don't. That is the reason that one kid cannot sit still in the classroom and one can. If we use a simple analogy, let's take a sports car. If you're driving a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, it's going to use a lot of fuel fast. It's a faster car. If you're driving a Toyota Prius, it's designed to be a fuel-efficient car. They're just different. If one kid can sit and stare at the blackboard and listen to the teacher quietly for 7 hours, and one is jumping out of their skin, it's not because the one kid has ADHD or any acronym. It's because they're simply metabolizing dopamine faster and need to stimulate it. That's the beauty of understanding the power of our individual physiology. So what Jiddu Krishnamurti was saying is that when we start to create broad labels, we stop seeing the individual. We cannot afford to do that to millions of kids. At Physiology First, we actually assess physiology first. We do DNA testing, metabolic testing, VO2 max testing, sleep tracking. And when you assess health before making a health assessment, you see nothing but limitless potential in every child. So I really urge you, as you look at your kids, the kids in your community, to stop seeing the category and start appreciating the individual, and ultimately appreciate the fact that individuality will be the last value proposition of the digital age, of the AI age, of the age of automation. What makes your child unique is what makes them special. Honor that, support that, and take the time to learn about their physiology first.